Hi, my name's Roger. I'm part of the Extinction Rebellion and I'm helping to do this video on how the internal organisation of the Extinction Rebellion works. So it's just a short video to give you a brief introduction. Obviously there's some paperwork you can have a look at, but it's often good to just watch a bit of a video, so that's what we're doing. And yeah, just if you've got any questions or whatever, then please get in touch with one of the people you've already talked to. So I'm going to quickly go through how things work. Um, the internal organization is basically organized in a holacratic way, holacracy way. So that's a bit of a long word, but basically what it means is it's decentralized organizing. Instead of having one big group that organizes everything, things are split up into different groups, and those different groups are semi-autonomous in the sense they can make decisions on their own as long as they're not doing anything too drastic or stepping on someone else's toes. And if they make mistakes, so be it. The idea is to encourage autonomy and creativity. They take on specific roles and expectations and responsibilities. And the same thing happens within groups. They may split up into into subgroups or little teams, and they get on with a particular brief and do it in the best way they can. And it also applies to individuals. So if you've taken on a particular job, the idea is you go and do it into the best of your ability. And the general idea is if you've got a great idea, then just go for it. You check with two or three other people. It doesn't have to go through lots of meetings. So the idea is that things can expand rapidly, and it's a little bit chaotic, but it's better than everything being clogged up. Okay, so I'm just going to briefly run through what that means in practice for Extinction Rebellion. First of all, there's a coordination group. That's representatives from various working groups, which I'll come on to in a minute. And that meets once a week. Most of the meetings are online because it's sort of national at the moment. And in those meetings, we try to make sure that the show's staying on the road. We're looking at any imbalances, any coordination problems, any things that need attending to as far as the whole system is concerned, as you might say. And then there's a number of working groups. So working groups, there's four sort of major ones, which all have representation on the coordination group, and they are as follows. There's action and logistics, which is basically looking at the civil disobedience actions that are happening in November, how they're going to be organised, where they're going to be, what props are required, helping with the legal side of things. So that's that group. The second group is outreach and training, which is a really big working group split into lots of different subgroups. But the basic idea of that is to get out and tell the world that this rebellion is happening. And we do this by online promotion, stuff on Facebook, but also by getting out and doing face-to-face talks around the country, organising them, publicising them. We look after the Facebook page, responding to messages. We also put messages on other people's social media to promote what's going on. Okay, so there's loads of different groups there, and that's one of the heart of the sort of engine that's driving the growth of it, as it were. Okay, then there's media and messaging. This obviously deals with contacting national press and the TV and radio, online media, telling them what the rebellion is about. During the actual rebellion itself, this group will be liaising with these different media and sending out press releases and what have you. It also is dealing with sending articles for magazines, blogs and such like, creating videos, just general content, and also working out what the general line is. We do have a general line, it's rebellion, it's non-violence, etc. But within that, there's loads of space for people to put their particular point of view. Okay, so that's that. Then there's regenerative culture, which is looking at making sure that people are supported and the culture of the Extinction Rebellion is regenerative in the sense that it empowers people and makes people feel that they're valued and respected. And in as much as they're not, then there's a number of ways in which it's dealing with that. And it's also responsible for conflict resolution as and when inevitable tensions rise, that these can be dealt with in a constructive way, which can enable people to grow rather than people feeling like they need to leave or whatever. Okay, so those are the main sort of big groups, and as I say, they're split into subgroups, and if you get involved in one of them, you'll find out the bits and pieces about that. There's also other smaller working groups which have specific areas. So for instance, there's an art group which is obviously making stuff, designing stuff, graphic design, helping make these videos look nice, through to creating banners, artwork, logos and what have you. Then there's a finance group which is raising the money and dishing the money out, vital job. Then there's an international group. The idea is, as you may know, we're going to do this in November, but we're also going to do it again in March, hopefully on an international level. So it's about contacting radical and progressive groups in other countries. And there's a research group which is looking at padding out the details about how an economic and political transition can take place in the context of the climate emergency, and creating some paperwork around that and links and researching the science and what have you to help with the talks. Okay, so added on top of that is the creation of local groups or regional groups. So we're looking out for people that can coordinate particular cities or regions and then help local groups to set up, who can do local talks, do stalls in marketplaces, go and knock on doors and what have you, and basically create the mass movement that we need. Okay, so that's the general gist in a nutshell. It goes without saying that unless we get a decent number of people sort of doing all this nitty-gritty, unheroic stuff behind the scenes, the whole thing won't actually happen. So we'd really appreciate it if you are interested in any of these, step forward. And lastly, it needs mentioning, I guess, that we're facing a climate emergency. That means that if we leave things another year, they won't be just the same. They're going to be a lot worse, and we need to all step up and contribute according to our talents and abilities. So thanks very much, and welcome to Extinction Rebellion, and we'll see you soon. Bye.